Hi, I'm Linda and I'm here with Jill. We're the creators of ProSix and we're here to demonstrate use of your ProSix. I will be narrating and Jill will be demonstrating. When your ProSix first arrives, take time to lay it out on a table or a flat surface and take a look at all the areas of adjustment, the different parts and pieces and how everything moves. When you open it all up, you'll see the logo at the very front. That was up by the bag, followed by the shoulder or wither straps. Next, the abdominal strap. Jill has gone to the back here and she's opening up the hip tensioners at the far back. You want to have everything open and in the loosest setting prior to putting it on the horse. She's opening the abdominal band here and folding this back. And now there's an open bottom side of this. All of your straps are to the top, and this is going to make it easier to introduce it to the horse and put it on the horse. Starting at the back, Jill starts gathering the straps up. So you gather up your hip strap from the rear, gather up your hip strap, your abdominal strap. If you don't have help, you can just fold them and tuck them into your arm. The final thing that Jill was getting ready was positioning the logo at the front. That's the first part that's going to go over the horse as a closed front blanket. Jill approaches the horse with the ProSix and gently lays it across the horse's back. Then she begins opening the Velcro to acclimate the horse to the sound. The horse isn't showing any reaction, so she goes ahead and fastens it again on the loosest setting. And you're always going to start from that place and tighten it to your horse. She begins gathering it up from the back again. You can see that she's got the logo there in the front. Now when you open that front piece, again, this is going to go over the horse's head and on like a closed front blanket. Jill approaches the horse from the side, goes over the horse's head, feeding the lead line through, of course, and then you can turn it, and you're going to center that logo in the middle of the chest as you settle it down. And this is where gathering it up helps. It unfolds just as easily. With that logo centered and the wither strap in place, you can see the abdominal strap. Now, it took 2 hands to pull that over the butt. Don't be surprised by the tension. It's looser after you come over the butt and settle it down onto the hamstrings. You can see that Jill hasn't placed everything. She's just kind of getting it in order. And she moves back around the horse, adjusting everything so that it's symmetrical on each side. Now you notice Jill left the tail in until this point to allow the horse to get used to the feeling of the tension of the strap across its back end. Once the horse is quiet, she goes ahead and pulls the tail back out and then continues adjusting. Grabbing the abdominal band from underneath, you want to pull and give it a little tension as you lift and attach it. Now you can go ahead and go back to those hip tensioners. As the horse acclimates, this is a good time for you to open everything up and test different areas of adjustment. There's actually 8 areas of adjustment on the horse between the 2 wither straps, the abdominal band, and then the 2 hip tensioners in back. Now you note that on the far side of the horse there is an area of hook there, and that anchors your abdominal strap so that you have correct tension on both sides. It's important to check that, and whenever you do a readjustment, so that you're not just adjusting on the belly end but the whole circumference of the abdomen. Looking at the wither straps, you want those straps ahead of the withers actually, and positioned to the middle of the foreleg or just before, as Wyatt wears it. You actually want a couple inches of the main body band to be up on the neck. Now the wither strap simply holds that in place, so we will talk more about areas of adjustment there. Jill is showing that there's very little tension on that hip strap. Both the hip and wither strap are there just to keep that horizontal band in place. They don't have any tension of their own. Checking the tension all the way around on the band for comfort is important. And looking at the angle of how that back strap sits across the butt. Not all straps are going to sit horizontally. You might have a little dip down lower onto the hamstrings. That has to do with the muscling and build of the horse, the athletic ability of the horse. And Jill's showing that it can slip down with movement when there aren't muscles to hold it up. And this could be an adjustment issue as well, so you can tighten that up at those hip tensioners. Now she's denoting the tensioner band. Those bands can get twisted and turned. It's usually indicative of too much tension on that hip area. You can either pull that up and try tightening it up, and you can see how it turns with the tension. Now it could also ride down because you have it too loose. So pull it up and fit it where you'd like it to be, and then adjust your hip tensioner. Now Wyatt's pretty well muscled, and she'll move that back up, and it should stay in place pretty well with a little bit more tension. And there you go. These are the covers that we've added. There's 8 areas of hook adjustment at the base of the hip and the wither straps. This gives you room to angle that strap or change it as needed. So just remove your covers if you want more room for adjustment. You can replace them after you've adjusted it to where you want it to sit. Now when you angle these straps up over the glutes, this can be very helpful for keeping the hind end of that strap in place and not letting it drop down without adding additional tension. And moving up to the wither strap, again you have 8 areas of hook there to adjust. You can just remove the cover to open up that additional area. Usually that most forward placement is the most beneficial for holding up that strap in front, but everybody's different. Jill's moved it to a center area. And whatever you do on one side, you want to go to the other and match it. Now these are just covers. You can absolutely cut them and adapt them to any adjustment that you've made. Now, grazing, a horse that drops its head as it's going along. Sometimes, again, it's just musculature and build. Readjust it if you need to, and readjust that tension. It doesn't have to be lined up with the body band. You can leave areas open. That's what the covers are for. So you can adjust it higher or lower as needed to maintain that positioning. Again, we want it up with a slight lip, a couple inches up onto the neck there. We started with that hip strap ahead of the hip, but again, you can feel free to move it back farther and angle it. Jill repositioned the back band and then adjusted the hip straps to support that, but as the horse walks away, you'll see him come under himself, and you'll see that back band drop. Now that's going to be too low, so she holds him back up and goes back in for more adjustment. So continue to readjust it from time to time during your workout, during movement. Again, making adjustments on both sides. Jill's repositioning these straps to give that rear band a little bit more support. And sometimes you have to play with it a little bit. Always checking on both sides with any adjustment that you make. And as the horse walks off, even though he's coming under himself well, you can see that it's staying in place. eyeballing all areas of adjustment and checking for the horse's comfort and fit. And then we move them out at a jog. Again, everything is staying in place, and for now, it's looking like you're good to go. We offer two options of liners to come with your ProSix. The first one is a natural wool felt liner, and the second one is made of a synthetic sheepskin, as is used in many horse products. They are both designed to offer padding and protection to the bony prominences in the front of the horse at the point of the shoulder and across the buttocks in the rear. For a finer coated horse, for a clipped horse, for a horse who has nutritional compromise or has been through a disease process that compromises the quality of the coat, we highly recommend that you start them out using these. Not all horses need them, but as a preventative and as a comfort measure, it's highly recommended. We'll start with the placement of the wool felt liner. Jill is lifting the front band and she's going to feed it through, kind of eyeballing it. You can center it once you get it laid flat underneath the band. The tabs are going to be on the outside, as they're going to come around and wrap and attach just behind that wither strap. We want to spend some time getting it centered and equal on both sides. Now she lifts up the wither strap and there's areas of hook there. That's where the tabs are going to connect in the front. So you can go ahead and secure your tabs and replace the wither strap to cover them and keep it secure. There's enough tension with that front band to keep that liner in place and comfortable. In the rear, you're going to approach it the same way, with the tab side out and the soft side to the horse. Go ahead and place and center it across the back end, and then lifting up that hip tensioner if you need to. Now most horses will rub either in the front or in the back. The liner is made to fit in the front. To move it to a rear placement, you're going to add the converter tabs to the tabs on the liner, and then it will attach to the soft hook in the rear. You're going to place these sheepette liners or synthetic fleece liners the same way that you did with the wool felt, putting the soft fleecy side toward the horse. And again, it attaches with the tabs to the same areas at the same distance as the wool felt one does, the one that's going to fit in the front. Again, you'll find 4 converter tabs that you'll attach to the tabs that'll lengthen that attachment for the rear one and enable it to fit to the soft hook fabric that's underneath those hip tensioners. Again, soft side to the horse with the lining on the outside, centering it, anchoring those tabs. Now we do recommend, if you have a clipped horse with a fine show coat, place them front and back before using. Now Jill's going to demonstrate how to remove your ProSix. This is so easy. You start with the abdominal strap, let it go, unattach it, put it up over the back. That's it. Everything else is just going to gather and come off easily. Put your tail back underneath the rear band. Again, you're going to start at the back, and you're going to gather up those straps as you go. So you'll see Jill tucking them all in underneath there, starting with the hip strap, going up to the abdominal band, the wither strap, and then just up over the head in a loop. That's it. To demonstrate how easy it is to go back on, she goes back over the head with that same loop and unfolds it across the horse's back as she goes. With everything in place, she gives a tug over the back end, adjusting and centering that front logo. Reattaching that belly band and then lifting the tail out. You've already done all the work of the adjustments, and if you're just sticking with the one horse, that wrap will remain adjusted and ready to go. Now you don't have to fold it up each time. You don't even have to remove the liners. You can gather it up, and we actually prefer hanging it in the barn over a hook. Everything will dry and be ready for the next use. Let's talk about the care and maintenance of your ProSix. We want the ProSix to last for you and have the longest life possible, and so to do that you want to keep your elastic as clean as you can and periodically lay it out as it's laid out here, and just check for areas where the hook has hay and dirt and byproduct of your horse out rolling in it and just moving around in it. Now these covers go over areas of hook. You know, they can be removed so that you can adjust it any way you like, but it's important when in use, and especially when washing, to keep these open areas of hook covered with the covers to prevent it from sticking on other areas of elastic, possibly damaging them. The easiest way to maintain your ProSix is to take a soft grooming brush and just go over the wrap while the wrap's still on the horse. You can remove quite a bit of the surface dirt. Now, in preparation for washing the whole ProSix, you want to employ your brush on the elastic parts, and then for the areas of hook that tend to pick up more of the debris, there's some simple tools that you can use to get rid of that dirt and the hay and things. So we're going to go ahead and use one of the cheapest tools that you can use is a simple black men's comb, and in going over the hook, the comb will pick up areas of dirt and hay and hair. You can also use a dog rake. It will work the same way. Go over the soft areas of hook with that to loosen up any dirt and then brush them away. You want to get it as clean as you possibly can before you throw it in the wash or throw it in a bucket, and we'll get to that in just a bit. So you've done a quick surface cleaning of your ProSix, and you're making sure that all areas of open hook are now covered with the covers, and now you're ready to wash it. Both the ProSix and the liners, these things are all washed in cold water with a mild detergent, no bleach products, not even synthetic bleach. If you're going to throw it in a washing machine, please do it on a gentle cycle, again with cold, and then hang to dry, and that would go with the liners as well. You can hang your ProSix and your liners. You can hang them out to dry, but it's important to avoid direct sunlight. It's not good for the elastic or the liners. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, give us a call.